Hey everybody, it's Emily from Mindfully Trading, and in this video I'm going to just go through my watch list for this week, the week commencing the 14th of March 2022. And this is a little bit of a more relaxed video compared to my usual videos. You can probably tell this is a very different backdrop. You're in my kitchen at the moment, as I'm in mum mode, but also trading as well. So showing you that I can be trading and also be mum. So you might hear my little one in the background. So I've been keeping my watch list fairly up to date, just adding to it. For the strategy that I've been trading, it's a strategy that swing trades price action using the 4-hourly time frame. So this is a trade that I am currently still in on New Zealand dollar Japanese yen. As you can see, went long down here. I've been trailing a profit stop, but I am aiming for a 3R on this. And at the moment, price is pushing up quite nicely. So hopefully it's going to hit that target today. And I'm just going to work down through my watch list here. I have a few indexes at the top. I'm not trading at the moment, and cryptos. That's just out of interest really to keep an eye on those. And these are some of the trades that I'm in, some that I've got a few pending orders on. And then my main watch list, I've got the flags for different reasons really, which we'll go through with you now. But Euro Swissy, I think I've just been triggered into this trade short. All I'm looking at here is that we're in a downtrend. We've broken this area structure. And I've used the previous swing that got broken here, apply it to the low to get an idea of where price might pull back to, which also is a confluence with this area of market structure here. And when we got this really big red bearish candle down, this engulfing bearish, and we had this retest here, this green wick, that triggered me into this. I used the sell limit to get into this order. It's early days yet, and I was a bit unsure because of this big push up here. It's made a V shape, so I was a little bit unsure whether to get into that or not because that's showing that there's quite a lot of buyers at the bottom there. But I'm still going to apply this because this is my plan and it has worked out profitable back testing. So I'm looking for a 4R for that trade on Euro Swiss. And I'll just quickly show you another trade that I'm currently have just been triggered into on Euro Pound. So again, I'm short here. At the moment, I'm in a bit of drawdown and I've got a similar kind of reluctance to this trade because we have had this sharp bullish move up. In fact, I actually went long on this last week and I managed to get a nice bit of profit from about this area up to this structure here. But now, as price has been consolidating here around this previous structure and it actually broke this low here with a big bearish movement, I set a sell limit, but at the moment it seems to be testing those highs, so we'll just see what happens. And I'm just going to go through a few of the pending orders I've got here. So this is a trade on Australian dollar yen. As you can see, it's been pushing up quite nicely here. We broke this area of structure and this point here would have been a nice place to get long, but I missed it when that happened. So I've basically taken this pullback here and I've applied this measurement to the high. And I'm just aiming to see if price pulls back to this level, maybe gets a little bit of consolidation here, and if it does, if it can build something and show that there is some support being made, then I'll look to get into that trade long, again using a 3R target here, maybe a little bit more, maybe trailing this median line of this fork here that I've used that just frames price. And another trade here on Euro USD that I'm looking at possibly through short. I have actually set this as a pending sell limit, but I'm not totally convinced because again we've had quite a sharp push up and there's quite strong bullish candles coming through here. So what I've been looking at here on Euro USD is the fact that we've been coming down, we've been consolidating, and then we've dropped again. And I've basically applied the recent pullback here and applied it to the low to see if we come back to this area, again building some sort of support before potentially selling off. I'm quite interested in this area here because price came down and it did a little swing low here before having this big push up. So I'm looking to see if price comes back up and retests this area. Might be a nice place to get short. No, oh dear. I think somebody's got hiccups. There we go. You just wanted to be on the video, didn't you? You just want to be on the video. Alright, let's move on to EuroCAD. So I've got a little bit more going on the charts here on EuroCAD, but as we saw before with Euro USD, we were coming down here, ranging for quite a while, and then we actually broke this range with a strong bearish momentum, and I've used a recent pullback here applied it to the low, and I'm looking for some kind of retest up here. Now, I was looking for price to come up a bit higher, but it's not always perfect. Price doesn't always do what you want it to do. And it looks like it started selling off quite strongly here. So I'm going to see if we get another retest of this level, and I may potentially get into this. So zooming out quite a lot here on pound Australian, I've had this trend line drawn to just show that we have been in this uptrend for quite a while. And then recently we've broken this with very strong bearish momentum. And there wasn't really that many opportunities here for pullback. So I actually used the last swing of this uptrend that got broken here. I've applied that to the lows to try to gauge an area where price might pull back to. So if I zoom into this area, we've already had a sharp pullback here, and price just consolidated a little bit and started to sell off lower. Now, until it actually breaks the low of the move, I still consider this a potential trade. So as you can see, it actually came up really close here, but it didn't trigger my order. It was just a couple of pips off. So I'm just leaving it there. I'm not going to meddle with the order. But if we get another dip into there, it may trigger my order and I'll be short into pound Australian dollar. I'm just going to flick through a few of these. So these are trades with my watch list. It's almost like every pair I look at is at different stages in the market. So the ones I've just shown you are pretty active. I'm keeping an eye on them quite regularly because they're very close to being triggered, if not already, to be fair. But the main watch lists are the level just below. So the blue flags are quite close. I'm keeping an eye on those. The purple ones are still kind of working it out, still building something or not quite ready for trades. And as I go further down the list, it's almost like the currency pairs are still forming the potential trade opportunities. So I'm going to flick through a few of these and hopefully you might see what I mean. So here with Euro New Zealand dollar, I'm looking for a short because it's very similar to the pound Australian dollar. We've been in this uptrend and we've broken it with very strong bearish momentum. I've applied the last swing upwards that got broken to the low to gauge an area for pullback, which also corresponds with this range here that price action was in. So we've pulled back into this range. Now, I do want to get short into this, but I'm quite reluctant to just get in here because of this quite sharp bullish push up. So I think what I want to see here is another rejection of this level. I want to see that this is a strong level that's holding before I get short into this, because naturally I don't want to get in too soon and have my stop taken on this trade. So I'm going to wait for this to form a little bit more, maybe even see if we get another push down and then a little retest before I get into this trade short. Here's a potential trade for Australian dollar CAD that I've been watching for a while that I think is looking quite interesting. But to really get an idea of this, I'm going to zoom out a bit more. And as you can see, we've had this trend line form that's been tapped a couple of times here. There's my broker. And just recently, we had price bunching up underneath this, and it's pushed out with quite a lot of force, a lot of momentum here, which is really nice to see because it shows that there's a lot of buying coming in. Now, although last week we had this consolidation and a big drop down here, so very, very short term, it's been bearish. If we can hold this level here, I'm very interested in getting long because it's a confluence of this trend line here, and also this trend line that links these two taps here, and also this fork. So I've got quite a few points in the market that are coming together that are helping to form this trade for a long. So as you can see, I'm looking for a nice bullish candle upwards to show the buyers are there before I actually get into this. So this is on my watch that hopefully I'll be able to get onto later this week. And here is another similar setup on CAD Swiss, where I've been watching this consolidate for a while. It's been in a channel and it's actually broken out of this channel again with quite a strong bullish candle here. Now what I'd be quite interested in is for price to dip back down, retest this trend line and show me that there are buyers there again with a nice bullish candle or some form of wick rejection. And if we can get that, then I'll be looking to get in for that long. So I'm not actually in this trade yet. I don't have a penny in order set. I'm just watching it to see if it can form a potential new higher low where I'm going to get in maybe even a little bit lower. So my stop's underneath this level here. But we're going to just wait and see how it develops. Couple more on watch here. So New Zealand dollar CAD. I actually took a loss on this last week because I went long at the top of the move. Didn't quite work out. I was looking for this pattern here. As it started to swing and hold the structure level, I thought it was looking good for a long, but didn't quite work out. So now I'm just watching this. Because if we zoom out, we've actually been in this downtrend. So we have a major structure and a minor structure here. And price has actually pulled back to this minor structure. So what I'm interested in now is a few different things, as you can see here. So if price pulls back to this minor structure and starts to form this pattern here, I'd be interested in getting short. Alternatively, if it continues dropping to this major structure here and then starts to find some support there and swings higher, I'd be interested in getting long. So I'm just watching it at this stage. It's not ready for a trade yet for me. Oh, Swiss EM. I've only just spotted this as I'm doing this video with you guys. I've been watching this for quite a while now. And again, I'm going to zoom out so that you can really see what it is I've been watching. Now, as you can see, Swiss yen has been in an uptrend for quite some time. And the way that it seems to push up is it seems to move up and then consolidate and range for a while before having a strong move up. And I've been watching this one here, another push up. And I've been watching this consolidation here. And it's been building up for quite some time underneath this structure level, and I'm waiting to get that push up and try to get onto that move for a long position. So if we zoom into most recent price action here, as you can see, I took the previous pullback, applied it to the high here, and it just clarifies that price has pulled back the same measurement and it's held that. So it's showing that we are still looking good for longs. And this level that's been created is interesting because we've got quite a lot of wick rejections here and here. Although we did get a previous breakout, it did end up being a false breakout. It fell back under this range. So I've been waiting for a strong push out. And it looks like we're getting it at the moment. As it stands, this is forming as a nice bullish candle. But it's not set in stone until that timer has done, until that candle has closed. So I'm going to wait and see how that candle closes. But if it does close as a nice bullish strong candle, they'll be looking for something like this. I'll be looking for a dip down. Maybe a retest of this level here, where this false breakout was. And if we can get something forming there, that might be a nice point to get long for the continuation higher. I think this video is getting a little bit long, so I'm going to just whiz through a few of these now just to show a few more to you. So I was looking at Euro Yen for a short. It's very similar to the previous pairs I did earlier in the video, but I haven't gotten into this trade. I didn't set an order. I'm glad I didn't. And this is why I do wait, because although it can match up with my plan and it can be holding a level and it can have a bearish candle, sometimes you just need to wait and see what price does, because like this, the bulls have taken over. So I'm not quite interested in that anymore. I'm just going to wait and see how it reacts around this level. Price might just be pushing up to this area here where we had a big candle. It might form the pattern I was looking for a little bit higher up before it starts selling off. And if it does that, I'd still be interested in a short, but at the moment, I'm just going to keep an eye on that pair. Pound Swissy is another one I was looking at for a short. So I've been looking at this little downtrend here. We've got a minor structure formed, a major structure because this pullback was a lot deeper than this one. And I've taken this pullback length of that major structure, applied it to the low, and it actually did come up and retest that and had a big sell-off. So I may have missed that, but like I said before, until it breaks the low, this is still a potential trade. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, and if we get a pull back up here, I might get into this short. Not too sure about this one on Pound New Zealand, which is why it's purple, because although we've had this strong sell-off, and again I've used a recent measurement, we've already had a pullback there, but it hasn't broken this low. And this red box here just highlights that we have come back to this area where price ranged for quite a while before it pushed up higher. So I'm going to wait to see what price does. It might just fall into a range here, and I don't want to be stuck in range, so I'm not going to get into that just yet. And Pound CAD here might be an interesting short. Oh, he's gone to sleep now. We've broken underneath this area of structure, and this pullback here, I've applied that to the low, and I'm just going to wait to see what price does around this area. If it comes up here, which also coincides with this structure, and if we get a little bit of consolidation, then I may be interested to get in for a short there. But once again, it's early days for pound CAD. Very similar setup here to pound USD. And USD Swiss is looking interesting because I have had this sort of at the bottom of my watch list for some time now, because we've just been ranging and it's been very choppy price action. What I was watching here, we had a potential breakout, but as you can see it failed and dropped back into this consolidation. But now it looks like we've had quite a strong push up, and we've pushed past this previous range with some strong bullish candles, so it's looking like it could be interesting to get into this for a long. And what I've done to look for an area pullback is I've just taken the previous low pullback here, applied it to the high. Price might not come down this low, but these weight rejections are quite nice because it's rejecting this area here. So if we can get another return down there, I might be interested in getting long at this level here with a stop below these wick rejections, because that will just protect my stop a little bit more. So I'll set that like that for now, just to remind myself of what I'm thinking. But I'm going to see how price develops before I actually set that order with my broker. Another one here on Australian dollar Swiss. It's a little bit more choppy, which is why it's at the bottom of my list there. Pound yen, I'm watching that for a pullback, but at the moment it looks like it might be powering through, so I'm just keeping an eye on that one. Australian dollar USD. I've taken the major pullback here and applied it to the high, but we need to see some buyers coming in, some bullish candles forming before I'd be interested in getting into that long. I think that's about it for me, really. USD yen has been making a really nice strong push up, but at the moment it definitely needs to come back before I consider buying that. Otherwise, he's simply just chasing the move and you're going to be stuck at the top, holding long when it falls. But if you got in down here, you definitely got in on a nice move there. So that's my watch list for this week. Might seem like I'm watching quite a lot of pairs, but I don't trade them all at the same time. As you can see, I'm just keeping their watch list up to date, watching how they form and applying my trade plan when it presents itself. So are there any pairs, any setups that you're watching this week? Anything that you're interested in? Let me know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in my next video. Thanks guys. Bye.